Welcome back. My name is Corrie V, and today we are going to be doing a 12-hour wear test of some Canadian makeup. This is from the brand Vasanti. It's a brand you probably never heard of if you are not Canadian. This is the brand Vasanti, and I bought this at Shoppers Drug Mart here in Canada. This is their liquid cover-up foundation and concealer in one. Sounds pretty good. I have the shade V1. It says shake well before use. It's 16 milliliters and it retails for about 27 Canadian dollars. So this is pretty high up there in price considering you get this at the drugstore. This is like, if you're an American, these are not drugstore prices. If you're Canadian, you're probably used to it. This comes in 12 different shades, from Zero Fair to a deep rich V15, and from the photos it seems like it covers a pretty good range of skin tones. What's interesting is that Vasanti was created by 4 women who really wanted to focus on providing drugstore options to South Asian women and women of color with very yellow or olive type undertones whose skin was traditionally too dark for drugstores. And they were founded in 1999, so these guys are OG. Personally, when I think of Vasanti, mostly I just think of their skincare items. I think the only things I've tried are a couple samples. If you have any Vasanti products that you absolutely love, make sure you share them down below. Anyway, all their products are made in Canada. This foundation and concealer is supposed to be lightweight with buildable coverage. Here is what it comes like. It's very liquidy, and you get a little brush and a little squeezy tube. The packaging feels very nice, but like thinking back that this cost me $30, it's a tiny bottle, you guys. It's a tiny bottle. It's half an ounce. It's comparable to the price of like this. It's almost a misnomer to call it drugstore, even though that's where you would find it. Anyway, on the website, they say you get a full coverage and it's velvety matte finish. But on the same website, it also says it'll leave your skin glowing and radiant, and it's a lightweight formula that feels like a moisturizer, and that it's buildable. So I'm getting a bit of mixed messaging here from the product. I guess you can get full coverage if you build it up, and I'm not too sure if you get a velvety matte finish or a radiant glow. I'm guessing you get a matte glow, a velvet glow. It's supposed to be really good for your under eye circles and for camouflaging blemishes. It's oil-free, fragrance-free, long-wearing, lightweight, natural matte foundation for up to 24 hours. We're only testing it for 12 today. They do say it's got a water and silicone emulsion, which looks and feels like the natural texture of skin with amazing light reflecting properties and natural hydrating properties. So again, is it matte? Is it natural finish? It's paraben free, sulfate free, it is vegan and cruelty free, and again made in Canada if that is important to you. To use it, they say use the applicator brush and then apply your liquid cover up onto well moisturized skin. Then use a foundation brush, makeup sponge, or your fingertips and blend the foundation out to achieve a natural flawless look. Start with a light application and build up as needed. And I also just want to mention on the website they have before and after photos, and they are not photoshopped. And when I say they are not photoshopped, when I look at them, I kind of like grimaced in horror, and I was like, ooh, that's the after? And it just shows you like how used we are to being force-fed, like photoshopped. We're not even like force-fed it. We're at a point where like you kind of just naturally expect it, and if it's anything less than perfection or like, you can see they're human, but they're still really close to perfection. Like, it's a little shocking to see. So a huge shout out to them for having such honest, good representations of the after photos and the before photos. Like, that is brave and amazing, and I think we should be seeing more of it. So let me go ahead and start my application here. I picked the color just off of the website. Usually here in Canada at the drugstore, we're really good for being able to get samples of all our products just at the drugstore, which I know Americans think is kind of strange. But of course, with COVID happening, there's no drugstore samples. So even if I went into the store, I wouldn't be able to find out a good color match without just kind of like risking it. So let's go ahead. Today I'm going to just apply it all over as a foundation. My skin's been pretty good, although I do have a couple spots to cover up, and of course my dark circles. So Now, honestly, these brush type applicators are not my favorite. I do think they make sense. Well, do they make sense for concealer? I'm not too sure, but like for foundation, putting it all over my face, especially when I have like active acne on my face, seems a little weird. I think I would prefer if it came in a pump, but well. And to blend it in, I'm just gonna use a brush. And you can see I didn't use too much product. And already, like, my blemish isn't completely covered, but to me that's camouflaged enough, especially since I wear glasses, that I don't think I would need to go back and cover it up anymore. So there we go. That's one layer. I think I will build up a little bit more, especially under the eyes. I watched a video on their website and they went full triangle under the eyes. Kind of, it seemed a little dated to me. Like, it used to be back in the day, everybody would do a huge triangle under their eyes, and like the effect worked, but I have to say it looked like they were using a lot of product to conceal your under eyes, and at $30 a bottle, like, So with one layer under my eyes using a sponge, I feel like I could still build it up a little bit. I still see quite a bit of the blueness popping through, but they did say it was buildable, so let's build it up a little. And I'm gonna just start blending with my fingers so that hopefully I don't take off too much. It is very, like, I would describe it kind of as watery. When you're like touching it and blending it, it is super lightweight. Like, it doesn't feel cakey or anything. It feels thinner even than like a moisturizer. Alright, second layer definitely looks more built up. Gonna do a final blend. And on my chin, I do have a couple spots I think I do need to cover up a little bit more. This guy down here is just a monster. It's so 3D. Alright, I also have just a little red spot on the side here. I'll just quickly cover. I feel like normally that wouldn't bug me, but because I'm on video today, I'm just like, meh, might as well get it. Alright, I feel like my skin does look glowy, so I would say it's definitely not even a velvet matte. I would say it's just a full-on natural finish. I don't think it's like excessively glowy. Do I? Do I think it's excessively glowy? You know what? It is pretty glowy. I don't know. I'm confused. Anyway, my conclusion is it's not matte. Let me just powder under my eyes to set there. And whatever's left, I'll just quickly powder all over. And even with that powder, I still think my skin looks pretty glowy and fresh. I think I'm going to say it's a very natural finish with a slight glow. I definitely think it's too glowy for a natural matte, and I definitely wouldn't say it's high coverage, and like maybe I could keep building. It does build very well and it sits on the skin beautifully. It doesn't feel like foundation, but I really think labeling it as full coverage velvety matte might dissuade people who might really be into this finish. So, and this information was pulled right off of their website. So, all right, let me finish off with some lipstick and some of that lip gloss we got. All right, here's the final look. Overall, I really like it a lot. Super lightweight. It feels amazing. I feel like I can touch my skin and it does feel very smooth and nice. And it's got a very natural finish. My under eyes do look pretty nicely covered. My blemishes look pretty evened out. The color was a fantastic match, and I think I'm ready to start my day. So I'm gonna take it over to natural light and let you see what it looks like in natural light, and then we'll keep this on for the next 12 hours, and I'll see you here back at the end of the day. Let's go. Alright, we're a full 12 hours later, and here is what my skin is looking like. I feel like you can kind of see it's worn off in places. I kind of feel like the color deepened a little bit, and it's just like half a shade too warm and too dark. It's, I don't know, Doug noticed it, so I don't know how noticeable it is in real life, but if he can notice it, I think other people could notice it, so maybe not a perfect match. We did wear face masks for a little bit today, so I think that helped contribute to some of that wear. And you can see I am shiny. I feel really greasy. I didn't powder or blot today, but I probably could have, especially around dinner time. And I do think that greasiness that kind of built up on my face is making it feel a little bit heavier. I think the coverage is still good, even in places where I think it should have maybe worn off a little bit. And my under eyes still look nice and covered. I just think the color match wasn't bang on like it could have been. But I do feel like this color came very, very close. Let's go ahead and take it off. Sometimes I take off my foundation at the end of the day just to make sure it's still on my face. But this, I could definitely still see it. Still tons of coverage where it was still sitting on my face. I think now that I removed that, you can really see not only what it was covering, but just kind of how warm toned it was and how maybe that wasn't the perfect color match for me. I feel like even if you don't get the color match bang on, because you can wear it as a concealer, you can kind of like blend it out. But my concern there is if you need to buy a second one, it's expensive if you mess up. Like $30 for half an ounce? Oh my god, that's so expensive. I don't think I could do it. I'm not sure I liked it enough to really repurchase a tube. I could definitely see this being, especially if you have drier skin, like an absolute HG item. I think when you're looking at the website and stuff, the marketing is really confusing because again, it did say full velvety matte finish. And at the same time, it says it leaves skin glowing and radiant, and that it's lightweight and buildable. So that sounds confused to me. My feeling is it starts, especially if you powder right after, as kind of a natural skin-like finish that like grows more radiant if you're a little bit more oily like me. I'd say it's probably like a medium coverage that again does build up to a full coverage. So I would say this reminds me a lot of a tinted moisturizer, but if it was a more watery texture with better coverage, if that makes sense. So I think for a greasier gal like me, it's maybe not ideal, and it's super, super, super expensive. So would I recommend it? I do think it's like a unique enough formula that it's moisturizing and lightweight enough that this could be a lot of people's favorites if you can afford it, but I just don't think it was a perfect match for me. So would I recommend it? Yes. Would I repurchase it? I don't think I would. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's incredibly expensive. The shade range seems decent, but at the same time, because there's only like 12 colors, even if they have a wide variety of depth, they won't necessarily have a wide variety of undertones. So because their speciality are those like golden and olive undertones that are underrepresented in other brands, again, if you have those undertones, this might be worthwhile looking out. But again, I'm not an expert. I'm just a casual consumer that buys my color approximately and doesn't really venture outside of that. Not a professional makeup artist or anything, so take that as you will. That is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to try out, and I would love to try out more Canadian drugstore products. Have you guys seen that Quo has completely redid their makeup line, and I'm feeling the vibes. It feels young, it feels fresh, it feels, I don't know, it feels really cool. The only thing that's holding me back is that all those Quo products, which are like no-name brand drugstore line, they're so expensive. Oh my god. So if you guys are interested, maybe I'll try some out. I probably will pick up a couple things, whether that's a lip product or a cheek product, I don't know. But if you guys have anything in particular you'd like to see tested out from Quo, leave a comment down below and I will do my best to track it down and try it out. Huge shout out to my patrons who helped me fund these videos. Thank you guys so much for your ongoing support. If you'd like to help this channel, you can always become a patron or just like, comment, subscribe, share this videos with any friends of yours. If you want to see more of me, I stream on Twitch on Mondays. I upload to YouTube on Tuesdays and Fridays. And you can always find me in my Discord server as well. It's all linked down below. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next beauty video. Alright, bye.